Welcome back to Getting Started with Amazon FBA. And in this video, we're going to be discussing a few tips that you'll need to use in order to be successful with both packing and shipping, whether or not we're talking about for the warehousing process or eventually for the eventual purchase from your customer. Now, one of the things that you want to take note of is that most Amazon sellers want to be careful in the way that they package their boxes. They want to make sure that their customer gets their package, they get their box, and it's going to be secure, it's going to be intact, and so they take extra care to make sure that that packaging is in there and that it really does secure the package. But when you do this, you want to make sure that the label is just as secure, because the label is really the key to your customer not only finding your box, but to the warehousing department being able to get your box into the right place, and to you not having any delays in terms of the customer being able to buy your product. You don't want to have anything get in your way that might limit you or reduce the time or increase the time that your customer will actually get your package. You want to make sure that your package is labeled correctly and that it's secure. So in your packaging process, make sure that the labeling is just as carefully done as your packaging. Now, what some Amazon FBA sellers do is they will actually add an image of the item to their box going to the Amazon warehouse, and what that does is that reduces confusion when the warehousing employees are actually moving the packages from the conveyors into the actual location. So this will help you if it's something that you have the time to do in your packaging process. Sometimes if you have a number of large items, or if you have items that you don't have lots of little bitty pieces, this is something that you can actually take the time to do. Now, when it's appropriate, you can actually add a note telling the warehouse workers not to open or take apart the box, and you can do this with a label. And again, in some cases, this is not going to be appropriate depending on the item that you're going to be selling, but in other cases, this is a good way of, again, assuring that your shipment is actually going to make it to the place where you want it to go, and it's going to be warehoused and categorized correctly. What a number of FBA sellers who are experienced do is they source their shipping supplies inexpensively. And some FBA sellers report that they're able to go to local stores and local shops in order to get packaging that for those shops it would be more expensive for them to dispose of that packaging themselves rather than to give it to you. So again, this is something that you want to start making arrangements with some of the local businesses in your area to take the packaging off their hands, maybe on a regular basis. And again, you want to do this in a way that's going to be efficient for your business also. So you might want to arrange to do this on a particular day that allows you to be both sourcing products or talking to managers. Again, it's a way for you to source inexpensive packaging, but again, do it as a part of your business and not the sole part of your business. In the same vein, some FBA sellers will actually get shipping supplies from grocery stores. And if you can imagine, grocery stores have lots of packaging. They have lots of cardboard boxes. They have lots of bubble wrap. All of these things, in some cases, would be appropriate packaging for your item. Now, this is, again, something that you'll have to negotiate, something that you'll have to talk to management about, but it is something that FBA sellers do in their local areas successfully. Now, one shop in particular, and there aren't a lot of these left available, but there are some in some local areas, and these are called gift shops. And you can go into these gift shops and you can actually find that they will have packaging. And again, it costs them more to dispose of the packaging than it would be for you to take it off their hands. So if you can find a gift shop in your area, work with them so that you can actually get their packaging as well as their bubble wrap and anything else that you can use for shipping. Electronic shops. This can be done in places where you have big box retailers. If again you can make arrangement with the management in order to get their packaging, if you can make arrangements so that they would have that packaging. Now, in some cases, they actually reuse some of their packaging, but there are cases where they're willing to give that packaging to you again for the disposal costs. Now, along with this, you want to try to source your bubble wrap from bulk suppliers. The tendency would be to go and just buy it commercially at some of the locations there in your local area just so that you'll have it available at cost. Well, what you want to do is you want to try to find, if you're going to be using this bubble wrap on a regular basis, try to get it from someone who supplies it in bulk. They're typically willing to give you small lots and small quantities that would cost you less than if you actually went to a commercial retailer to get it. Now, to make good use of some of these odd size boxes that you're going to be getting from some of your local retailers, what some FBA sellers do and do successfully is that they use a box resizer. And again, this is a commercial tool that you can actually go and purchase that will help you to make use of any size box for any size packaging. Again, making your package secure is going to be important, and being able to resize the boxes that you're going to be getting is also going to not only help you to be cost effective, but it's also going to help you to be time effective, being able to use what you have there at your location. Now, it goes without saying, and it's within the rules of Amazon, that you don't want to use a Sharpie to cover up UPC codes or barcodes. Make sure that you use a label. There will be times when you're tempted to want to save time, and so you might have a Sharpie available. You might just want to scratch out that barcode. That is not something that you want to do, mainly because the barcode is going to be read electronically. It can often be seen anyway, even beyond what you're going to be able to do with the Sharpie. So it's important for you to cover up the label. Do not write over barcodes or UPC codes with the expectation that your box is going to actually make it to its proper location. Now, when you're packaging bundles, attempt not to make them pretty. And what some FBA sellers report when they're new is they will try to make it appear in the box so that the customer will feel good about their purchase, and that's a good thing to do. However, what's most important is that the customer gets the contents intact, that they get them secure. And so this is what you want to work on first, over and above making them appear pretty in the box. Again, at the end of the day, the customer is not going to care as much about getting their packaging looking good in the box as much as they want to make sure that it's there intact. So do what you can to do that first. Don't overuse bubble wrap. Make sure that it's secure and that it's safe with your package. Now, the reason you don't want to overuse bubble wrap first is because it's going to increase the cost over time. If you overuse bubble wrap, you'll continue to have to buy more and more bubble wrap the longer that you do FBA. The other thing is that overusing bubble wrap often makes it difficult to hold the label. And so again, this is you want to use enough bubble wrap to make sure that your package is secure. That's the most important thing. Now, some FBA sellers choose to use poly bags in order to secure their packaging. This is a good way to, again, send it to the customer, but in order to do this properly, poly bags are not one size fit all. So you want to make sure that you have the right size poly bag for the item that you're shipping, and that will in turn make sure that your label stays secure on the poly bag. So improper packaging can make it so that your packaging doesn't quite fit right and that labels tend to fall off of poly bags. The way that you make sure that that does not happen is to make sure you choose the appropriate poly bag for the size item you're using, and to make sure that your label is going to be secure on there. Once again, it's important to note that your labeling really is your lifeline through the Amazon FBA process. Now, you're going to want to test some of your items for warehousing. When a package actually makes it to the warehouse and one of the employees actually gets the box, things happen. packages fall, or sometimes a package may be thrown around when it's actually being delivered to the customer. You want to make sure that the package is going to be okay for that, that it's not going to damage the item in any case. And you want to test that item before you actually send it to Amazon. And you can do that by making sure that you take a look at your packaging and how it's going to actually land and what happens on the inside. Now, you're going to have to put it in a box. You're going to have to seal up the box, and you're going to have to test that box, but it'll be worth it in the long run because you'll know that your customer is getting a secure package once you actually send it off to Amazon. Now, what some FBA sellers do for delicate items is that they use what are called liquor boxes or alcohol boxes. Now, obviously, you're going to want to make sure that nothing on that box even looks remotely like you're selling alcohol. You want to make sure that the labels are covered, that they are properly hidden, and that you've done what you can to make sure that it does not appear like a liquor box. But those boxes in particular make for good shipping packaging for delicate items and for toys. Now, you'll notice that when you get boxes from Amazon that they come with reinforced tape. And this is because Amazon knows that this tape is good regardless of the temperature and regardless of whether the temperature is high or temperature is low, and tape comes off of boxes in extreme weather. So you want to take that same practice into your business also. Yes, reinforced tape is going to cost you a little more, but you are going to know that you are going to have a secure package. And over time, you don't really even have to use as much reinforced tape as you might if you had to use traditional taping measures. Lastly, you want to make sure that your items are evenly distributed throughout your boxes. So if you're going to have a big box and you're going to have several items in there, make sure that those items are evenly distributed. You want to make sure that when your box is thrown around or if it slides around, that it slides evenly. And you can do that by making sure that everything is laid into the box and it's laid in evenly. So this is just something that will ensure that as the package is carried, it will ensure as the package is handled, whether in the warehouse or by the customer, that it's going to be done in a way that's going to secure the package. Okay, so those are a few tips that will help you as you start to package and ship your items to Amazon. Thanks, and I will see you in the next video.